Yeah, is a multi-award-winning broadcast journalist and communication strategist who is currently the Channels TV bureau chief in London. She is the anchor and executive producer of a weekly business show on Channels TV called the Channels Business Global since 2019 and has contributed to output in the world's leading newsrooms, including Bloomberg, BBC, Thomson Reuters, and ITN. In 2022, she won the Jack Ma Foundation's Africa's Business Heroes Entrepreneurship Excellence Award as the best business journalist in West Africa. So when I call her one of Africa's best TV presenters, you know what I mean. So this afternoon, are you ready for this session? If you're ready, please join me and welcome Nigeria's finest TV broadcaster, Mrs. Juliana Olayinka, to the Academy.
Thank you.
What do you do?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Director Remy. Thank you all so much for joining us all today. First of all, let's do the protocols. I'm Nigerian. Yes, I have a made in England voice, but I'm very much Nigerian. So, of course, I want to, first of all, thank the African Students Leadership Academy for putting this on. It wouldn't be happening without them. Of course, they have a strong partnership with the Ugwuma Leadership Center, which is led by His Excellency Ugwuma Uche Nwosu, who has taken time out of his very busy schedule to join us today. Your Excellency, you're welcome. I also, of course, want to thank the director of the African Students Leadership Academy, Mr. Remy Chukwuyere, who, without him, this wouldn't happen. He has given me a rousing introduction, but it's important that I introduce myself, right? And what we're going to do over the next, let's say, 30 minutes to 45 minutes is talk about effective communications in leadership. And I'm going to divide this into 3 areas. One, the stress test. We all go through it. And the stress test basically means, are you even qualified? Are you even qualified to aspire or to attain some of those leadership roles that you want? I'm going to house rules, just so that this can be as clear as possible. If you are not speaking, please make sure your phone or your device is muted. Really important. So we've got the stress test. We're also going to go through the self-assessment, which is, let's have an honest discussion about where we are. A lot of us have a lot of aspirations and dreams. We blame government, we blame leaders. Oh, they're not helping me. Are you able to help yourself? Let's also talk about that. And lastly, we're going to talk about the sale. We're going to talk about the sale. What sale? Selling yourself. Yeah. The only person you can rely on ultimately to lift you up is yourself. Yes, we can be religious. Yes, we can go to 5 steps to this, 10 steps to that, give money to this person so they can pray for you. Ultimately, it's you that is going to sell yourself to aspire to be where you want to be. So we're going to cut through those 3 areas. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Juliana Olayinka. As you can see, I'm in a newsroom. I'm in the Channels TV newsroom, which I've been running now for 5 years out of London, 5 years. And so I'm on air every single day. I've been on air today. What have I been talking about on air today? Live, by the way. I've been talking about Brexit. I've been talking about the Bank of England. I've been talking about NVIDIA, which many of you may or may not have heard of. It's an artificial intelligence company that's just taken over the market capitalization of Apple. NVIDIA is now the world's 2nd largest company by market capitalization, worth $3 trillion US. Let me tell you something. It wasn't created by an alien. It was created by somebody who also came from a woman. So those are the kind of things that I discuss on air, and that's one of my hats. The second hat I wear is I'm also the special advisor on communications to the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun. He's also the coordinating minister of the Nigerian economy. So we're incredibly busy. In case you guys are or are not interested in news, Lots been going on with the Nigerian economy at the moment, and it's very important that I maintain a positive narrative, which is really difficult because the easiest thing, I don't know if you've heard about the PhD, pull him down. When you're climbing up the ladder, really tough, you're grinding. It's very easy to pull people down, especially on the continent. We do that a lot. We pull down some of our greatest leaders. Because I've got a made in England accent and I live in the diaspora, the only thing that I am focused on is a positive narrative. I don't pull down leaders, I bring people up. Nobody is perfect, but my role as a human being and as a daughter of our land is to ensure that I use our expertise to pull up our country. So I've been incredibly busy. In fact, I'm seeing messages popping up now from the minister. Hopefully he's watching on YouTube. I did send him the link. And then also, if you guys did see the advertising for this event, you would see that I also have a communications class called the Easy Comms class. So a lot of the nuggets I'm going to share with you today are things that I have expressed with some subscribers to my class. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I might be doing a lot more in the future with the African Students Leadership Academy, as well as Guama Leadership. Let's talk about the stress test. Let's talk about whether or not you are qualified for the role that you want to attain. Now, I know a lot of people use the term faking it till you make it and aspiring, which is absolutely fundamental. Yeah, you've got to have the vision. So for those who just joined, I just want to repeat that if you are not speaking, please keep your device on mute. It's very important because it causes a lot of interference, although I will ask you to interact with me along the way. Hi, nice to see you, Esse. I think it was it was your camera, isn't it? Yeah, that's nice. But yes, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, faking it until you're making it. And of course, yes, we have to have dreams and we have to have aspirations. But are you even qualified for the role that you're in? I want to tell you a story about what happened to me. I remember a few years ago, I was a communications strategist for the British Nigeria Law Forum. I had very little experience at the time, but I was somebody who wanted thank you, Moranica. Yes, I really desperately wanted to achieve, and I wanted to do as much work as I could with Nigeria. So what I would do, living in the UK, I would scout around looking for any sort of Nigerian social network. And I happened to stumble across the British Nigeria Law Forum, and I had lots of experience writing and working, but they were very, very dull. I was thinking, I read about their event and I was thinking, wow, the British Nigeria Law Forum, they're bringing the head of the Nigerian Business Association and the Nigerian Bar Association to central London. It's going to be in the Hilton, a 5-star hotel. Why does nobody know about this? What are you doing? So I approached them and I said, look, I'm a writer. I'm really interested in getting into Nigeria. Let me do some work for you. You don't have to pay me. And they were like, okay, that's fine. You know, she's a bit pushy, but we need some of the publicity that she can give to us. So I started writing a newsletter for them, and the newsletter was a big success. And off the back of that, they said, Juliana, look, we've got a lot of pretty significant lawyers in London that are Nigerian, and we want you to go and interview one of them. So they asked me to go and interview a lady called Sandy Okoro. Sandy Okoro now is the chief counsel at the World Bank, but at the time, she was the chief counsel at Barron's Bank. And this bank is a bank that the late Queen of England used to use, only the highest net worth of individuals in the UK. And she was in charge of their legal department. And so they said, right, Juliana, go and interview her. I kid you not, at the time of the interview, I had a broken Android phone. So I didn't have an iPhone. I didn't have a BlackBerry. I had a broken Android phone that was pay as you go. And the interview, so I had no cameraman, nothing like that. It was just me going to write down the interview, but I also needed to record the audio because I realized on my way that, oh my goodness, this woman obviously is going to be a very busy woman who is going to sit and wait for you to write things down. I'm like, I'm going to have to record it. So I get to this building. It was absolutely huge, really intimidating. As you know what some of those institutional buildings are. So you go in there and you already feel like, oh my God, should I even be in there? Anyway, I get to Sandy, a very wealthy woman, very busy. You find a lot with these wealthy, busy people that they can be very nice to you, but they're judging you automatically. They're good at hiding their judgment. And we're going to talk about that in the self-assessment because you need to be honest. Anyway, so I get there. She's very friendly. And I'm like, right, check my bag. No pen. Bring out my phone to record the audio. The screen was cracked to smithereens. I've got no pen for possibly at the time the biggest interview in my life. My phone is a state when I'm sitting in front of a very important person. My nails, crusty. So when I'm bringing out the cracked phone, I've got this very well manicured woman sitting in front of me and my nails are crusty. To cut a long story short, it was an absolute disaster. And that story has stuck with me. And I always share it with people because was I qualified? Yeah, I was. I'd worked for the BBC. I'd worked for Channel 4. I'd done lots of bits and pieces. But for this particular assignment, I wasn't prepared. If not for the fact that I have resilience and those around me had worked with me and had backed me, be like, oh, okay, Juliana would have had an off day. I never would have had the experience to interview people like Sandy or Coral again. And you need to be very, 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 very careful wherever you're going and whatever you're doing to put your best self first. Always make sure that you're prepared. Are you qualified? The issue we have leadership in Africa, commentary on the continent is that you've got a lot of bench warmer commentators. Everybody knows how to run the economy. Everybody knows how to run national security. But are you a believable person? Are you an expert? By the way, I'm an avid reader. And if there is anybody on this course who wants to be a writer or who wants to go into communications, you're not going to go anywhere if you don't read. If you don't read, you will not know how to write. I read a lot. And when I say read, I'm not talking about reading blogs here. I love blogs. Don't listen. When I go to the toilet, I will read the whole, when they say, who wants to go through the whole gist? I will. So I'm not putting down bloggers. I love gist and I love gossip, but that's not where I get my news. That's where I just let my hair down. If you want to be a writer and you want to be a comms specialist, start reading, okay? I read a lot. One book that I would recommend highly for you is a book called Principles by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is one of the most successful hedge funders working on Wall Street. I'm sure you've heard of Warren Buffett. He's up there. And in his book Principles, he talks a lot about believable people. Believable people. What does believable people mean? A believable person is you're having issues with your partner, whether it's marriage, hi Olivia, if you're having issues with your partner and you want to resolve the issue, are you going to speak to your single friends? Definitely your single friends can have advice. It doesn't mean you can't lean into them. It doesn't mean you can't cry on her shoulder or his shoulder or seek some advice, but they're not a believable person because they're not in a relationship. How can you seek relationship advice from somebody who's not in a relationship?
Check your mic, please. You're muted. Check your mic.
Thank you. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back. So you heard what I was saying about Ray Dalio. Did you hear what I was saying about Ray Dalio? I just want to know how far you missed.
Oh yeah, just 2 minutes back. Just go back 2 minutes.
Yes.
Or a minute. Yes.
Yes. So I was talking about making sure that you're qualified, because believable people do exist. I don't want to come here and start telling you you are going to achieve every single thing you want to achieve if you're not even an expert in your field. Invest in continuous learning and development. Invest in continuous learning and development. You are going to make mistakes. And there are going to be times when, you know, you flop, like I flopped with Sandy. What was I thinking? And going to a very wealthy woman in Britain's biggest financial institution, my nails are not done. I didn't carry a pen, and I'm bringing out a cracked phone. What impression do you think she had of me? Do you think she thought I was a believable person? Do you think when I walked into that room and she saw my dirty nails and my cracked phone that she thought, oh, wow, this is, as Director Remy explained, one of the most prominent journalists in the continent? No, she would probably thought, oh, this poor girl, I never want to see her again. But for the fact that I had people that could say, no, it must have been a bad day. This girl, we can vouch for her. Who can vouch for you? I want you to make sure that in whatever path you want, you become an expert in your field.
Okay.
Become an expert in your field. Take continuous learning and development seriously. Ma, I can't afford it. Oh, there are so many things that I need to take up. Please, can you mute your mic? Thank you. You need to make sure that those around you can vouch for you. And once you're able to do that, I can assure you that those who want you will come and find you, okay? I've condensed this a little bit because what I wanted to do before I went into the stress test is I wanted to tell you a little bit about me, because let me tell you something, I was not born with a silver spoon. I promise you, every single thing that I have attained in my life has come purely from hard work. Of course, there is an element of luck and destiny and things like that, fate, because that's just how the universe works, right? But I can tell you something that I've seen within my own eyes. If you're somebody that dots every I, meaning you attend, you're punctual, you're polite, you work hard. When you're sitting at work, you work. Yeah? When you're sitting at work, you work. When you're at work, you work. I know that might sound really strange, but there are a lot of people that go to work and 50% of the time they're on Facebook or they're on Twitter. Of course, Facebook, Twitter, X, WhatsApp, they've kind of been weaved in to our daily routine, but are you somebody who is productive? If you're not somebody who is productive, if you always have an excuse of why you are late, but don't you know it's far, but this happened to me, so what? Who actually cares? Make sure you're constantly ticking the box. And I say this specifically to those that have come from poor backgrounds. I also did. And I'm surrounded by people that have very wealthy mothers and fathers. But it doesn't matter, because they know that, but Juliana works hard. If you're somebody that works hard, you will make it. Not with excuse. Not you work hard for 2 weeks and then you have a week of down. You can't come to work. You're sick, fever, malaria. It's the consistency. I'm telling you now, if you are consistently good at what you're doing, you will rise to the top. Become a believable person. Become an expert in your field. Who are your mentors? I love Beyonce. I love her. Oh my God, I love her. She's amazing. But I can't say Beyonce is my mentor because I love her. I can't say Beyonce is my mentor because She has amazing music and she can dance and I like her work ethic. What has she got to do with comms? What has she got to do with anything I'm doing? When I'm looking for mentors, I'm looking for people like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I'm looking at people like Dr. Amina Mohammed at the United Nations. I'm looking at people like Dr. Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, former president of Liberia, the African continent's first female head of state. They're in my field. I don't need to see them. They don't need to call me. They don't need to know me. I know them. I look at them. I look at their trajectory. I look at where they're going. I look at what they wear. What do they wear? When they go to events, what do they do? You don't need your mentor to be on your line every day. You just need to be looking at, okay, this is where I want to go. This is who is my role model. Not Big Brother Africa celebrity, unless you want to be an influencer. If you want to be an influencer, please, mic is that? Is it fellow Gista? Please keep your fellow Gista, put your, thank you, darling. If you want to be an influencer, which is okay. If you want to be an influencer, keep watching reality shows, find influencers you like, and that's your path. Don't be obsessed with being on social media, looking at all of these blog sites, if that's not your path. If you want to enter politics, if you want to be a bank CEO, if you want to be a thought leader, start finding who those people are. Start following what they're doing. Read up on them. Another secret as well, somebody like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf or Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, I look at who they follow. Who do they follow? What books do they read? When Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is posting an article on X, which newspaper? There are ways, and that's the beauty of life. Whether you're religious or not, it's just the way the universe works. When you seek, you shall find. If you get stuck in a victim mentality, of course they are going to give it to her. Isn't her daddy rich? And I beg you, I'm tired from school. Let me just go put my feet up and watch Big Brother Africa. Let me just go on the Gist blog sites and spend 4 hours scrolling, looking at people's fake lives. And then you'll be asking, why am I not climbing the ladder? It doesn't mean you can't do those things. I've told you, me, I can read 6 pages of gossip. Hey, in fact, I enjoy Gistal. You have to, because you've also got to have an ear with what's going on with popular culture, but it doesn't dominate my life. It can't. Because what you see is what you become. So if you're constantly looking at things that have no bearing to where you want to go, it's a crossroad, isn't it? So very, very, very important. The stress test. Are you even qualified? Right. I want to see some messages in the chat. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys, about this? Do you understand? Okay, right. I've got fact. Olivia said, consistency is what Thank you, Omu. Putting in some Tony Robbins. Yes, you get what I mean. Got to be honest with ourselves here. You know, this life can be very simple. Obviously, life is going to throw curveballs and you're going to have to graft. And it's just the nature of life. Some of us have to graft more than others because of the foundations our parents have set. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. Once you start ripping away at the surface, you can see why many of us get stuck. Okay, thank you, Fadei. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Olivia. Let's move on to the next section. The self-assessment, an honest discussion about where you are, which moves nicely from what I was talking about being a believable person. When you show up to that job, they're looking at you and they say, yeah, I can see you are part of the role. The self-assessment is, where are you? What energy are you giving off about yourself? Communications isn't just about what comes out here. It's everything about you. It's how you look, it's how you sound, your presentation. When is the last time you bought a clean shirt? Ladies here, do you have matching underwear? People that live at home, when is the last time you changed your bed sheet? Is your bedroom clean now? Is your kitchen clean? I say this because let me tell you, and I've traveled the entire world, there is a mindset for excellence. You can't fake excellence. It starts from everywhere. Who you really are is who you are when no one is around. If you listen, there are times, of course, I've gone to sleep with my makeup on and I've woken up with my nice white bed sheet and the whole thing is brown. Of course, there are times when I've left the house and I haven't made the bed. But when I come back home, my mind is a bit scattered. Every single part of your life affects your life and it affects the way people see you. There are a lot of people, I'm sure, and I want to see some comments. Do you sometimes see some people making it and you're thinking, but how are they making it? Or do you sometimes see some guys that might get some very fine girls and you're like, but this boy is not fine? Or you'll see some very fine girls taking different amount of money from some men and you're like, somebody like her, but you don't know the energy that they're carrying. You're seeing it from a logical point of view. You're not seeing it from a spiritual point of view. And you have got to be honest about where you are in life. How is it possible that you could walk into a job, an interview, and expect the person who owns the company to pay you a certain amount of money if you yourself can't even invest in yourself? You cannot even invest in yourself. You can't. But you have to. It's a big secret. And I've noticed that there are some people, when you become tight to your own self, it shows. You might be pretty and you might wear the best wigs. But if you're somebody that's tight to yourself, you attract an energy that it doesn't work. A second book recommendation I want you guys to be familiar with is called Get Rich Lucky, B-I-T-C-H. Get Rich Lucky. It's written by an Australian entrepreneur called Denise Duffield Thomas. I've got to tell you, one of the best books I've ever read. It opened my eyes to so much. How I was blocking so many of my opportunities. Why was I blocking them? Because I didn't even know I had blocks. Somebody that doesn't have even matching underwear, somebody that doesn't even tidy the bed, somebody that wouldn't even have matching cutlery, somebody that doesn't even care about her clothes, her appearance, how she looks. Like I told you, I went to Sandy, I had an interview with crusty nails. I don't make that mistake again, because I realized how you care about yourself is how people care about you. How you care about yourself is how people care about you. That's why you have got to have an honest discussion about where you are in life. That's right, Favor. That's the name of the book by Denise Duffield Thomas. And Denise Duffield Thomas talks a lot about how people don't understand why they're constantly broke or why they're constantly wanting and things are not working. But do you take care of yourself? Also, as well, there is something about people who are afraid to spend money, constantly afraid to go out of the, you think it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you, it's almost a secret of how the world works. Those who take care of themselves and, spend that little more. What is it? Okay, so let's say, for example, there are 3 options of buying a pen. You have the 25p pen. and you have the £1.50 pen. And you're like, pen is pen, I beg. No! There's a theory. And there's a connection behind that £1.50 pen. Saying, do you know what? I'm going to get that pen. I'm going to get that £1.50 pen. Why? Because I deserve it. And I feel better. It writes better. It glides. It's smooth. When I bring it out, I feel good. It lifts you and it elevates you. That energy that you feel when you meet people, they feel it too. If you're somebody that everything is cheap, no, I'm just rushing out of the house. I've got an interview, but it doesn't matter if I just put on a crumpled shirt, and I only tidy my house when people come and see me. You can't hide who you are. Those who are above you, they smell it. That's why. What's the secret behind that guy getting all the girls when you're not seeing anything? He carries an energy that other people are attracted to. I want you guys to promise me you'll do something for yourself this week. Upgrade something this week. Everybody knows there is something in their house. Just think about that thing in your house that you know needs to change. Whether it's the broken cupboard, or whether you need to throw out some old clothes. Ladies, whether it's getting matching bra and knickers. Gentlemen, whether it's getting a nice new perfume. We all have something in our lives that we can say, do you know what? It's true. Let me actually even just put this to bed and do it. It starts a chain reaction of things. You realize it's true. I do deserve the best. Why have I been holding myself back? I'm telling you guys, it's a secret. It's a secret. Not everybody that's spending and wears nice clothes are doing it because they're rich. They're doing it because they're investing in themselves. They invest in themselves. If you do not invest in yourself, why is someone going to invest in you? How can you sit in front of a millionaire and say, I want to work for you because these are my grades and that? Unless you're extremely brilliant, they won't. They'll look at you up and down and they'll be like, no, sorry. They already mark you just on the way you look. But if you're somebody, fair enough, you might not have the most expensive clothes, but you made your bed that morning. You made your bed, you got fresh sheets, you pumped your pillow, you even ironed your shirt. Even if your clothes are not that expensive, when you go into that room and you're meeting with people, they pick up on an energy. They pick up on an energy of confidence. You have to invest in yourself. It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. You've got economy. You've got premium economy. You've got business class. What I want you guys to do, even if it's just three, write down 3 things in your life that are economy. So it could be, definitely my bed sheets are economy. It could be, I think my shoes are economy. It could be, yeah, I think my cutlery is economy. What's business class? Business class people are like, I don't joke with my wigs or that one. I might just start looking in your life at what needs to be upgraded and deserves to be upgraded. Start slowly upgrading them. When you make these internal investments in yourself, the happiness that you feel inside magnifies outside. It does. People pick it up. People start noticing. People start seeing things. You too start feeling better. Invest in yourself first. Also, this is a comms class. We are overloaded with communications now. There's too much. Abba. It's too much information out there. What's real, what's fake? For me as a journalist, I have to subscribe to every single newswire. I spend £35 a month, which is about $50 on Bloomberg subscription. I have the Telegraph subscription, which is a left right-wing newspaper. Why? Because I want quality news. Who's going to pay $50 a month to Bloomberg? Me, because it's helping me become a believable person. I'm investing in my self-development. Or should I spend $50 on takeaway or going to the club? Is that where I want to be? Or do I want accurate news? Do I want a real source? What are you subscribed to? If you can't spend $10, $20, even $5 on a good subscription, you're in the wrong business, my darling. If you can't buy a clean shirt, or at least even iron your shirt, because again, this is not about money. I'm not going to do the money thing because I was born working class. In fact, I was fostered. When I was 6 weeks old, when my mum came to London, she handed me over to an English woman. I was handed over. I was raised by an English woman for 10 years. Somebody like me had no business now being a special advisor to the Minister of Finance in Nigeria. But it was graft, it was hard work, it was knowing what I wanted, definitely making mistakes. I still make mistakes now, but knowing what the prize is, making sure I invest in myself, making sure I'm an expert, making sure that, no. If I go on air, I'm going to make sure I read everything. I'm going to read. I'm going to be believable. So even if there was a problem in the company, they look at their best staff, they say, we can't do it without that person. Are you somebody that they would say that to? Are you somebody that a CEO would be proud to say, yes, look at my staff, look at these students? It doesn't take much. It starts with looking around your surroundings. It's true. What do I need to improve on? It's true. Let me spend less time on this blog site. Let me spend more time in my area. Let me find that mentor. Not just Cristiano Ronaldo or Beyonce or Toke Makinwa or Meghan Markle or Nicki Minaj. We can like them. Of course, we're going to like sporting heroes and these heroes. But as communications people, have you picked your right mentor? Are you somebody who likes to pull down leaders? It doesn't work. If you are, listen, in life, everybody has roles. And even as old as the Bible is, we know that there are always going to be wars. It's going to be tough. But in our role, in leadership, in communications, we don't pull down leaders. We don't. We can advise and we can commentate. You can't pull something down and want it to take you up. It's the opposite effect. It's the opposite effect. Even if I was to think that the Prime Minister of this country is racist, I would never say it out of my mouth. Why? I know it's a very tough job, and I know you can't please everybody. Well, if I wanted to be there, is that how people will be pulling me down too? Be very careful with your statements. If you decide to go on a road of being a critic or an antagonist or a freedom fighter, so be it. So be it. But if you're somebody who wants to be a communications expert or a leader, don't pull down leaders. Don't get caught up in that negative. When you pull people down, you cannot rise. You can have a view and you can have an opinion. Don't pull people down. I'm saying this as well because this is all part of the self-assessment and your digital footprint. You don't know who's watching. You might think, oh, nobody cares, nobody. People care. Do you know, sometimes I don't have many followers. I have thousands of followers, but not many, not into the millions. But sometimes when someone says a hurtful thing to me, I do look at the profile. I do. And I look, they might have 14 followers, 114 followers, but I look, so I'll see their face, I'll see their name, I'll see their tweets. And obviously, I'm not sending positive vibes to them. It doesn't matter. I'm sure even the president of Nigeria could actually say, let's see the person who's given me these bad things. Can you imagine Julia in Kenya sent a nasty message about the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, let's say. And she just sends it because she's just she's just tweeting. Do you know whether or not somebody from the State House has seen that message? They do read as well. They are human beings. Be mindful. You can have an opinion. I'm not saying you're not going to be squeaky clean and boring and not have an opinion, but you need to really think about what messages you're sending out. What messages are you sending out? Not just with your words, but with what you type, and also what you feel, how you feel about yourself. You have to, nobody is going to value you more than yourself. I'm sorry to say this, but anybody here who has low self-esteem, and I know a lot of people online at the moment will have low self-esteem. It's difficult right now. But that low self-esteem that you have, nobody can love you above that self-esteem. How you feel about yourself, they can't love you more than that. So start loving yourself more. Love yourself more. Invest in yourself more. Don't stop saying, I can't afford it. No, you can afford it. Because when it comes to going out for the weekend with your friends, you find that money. You do find it. Okay, Juliana, no, you don't understand. I really can't afford it. Okay, fair enough. But you can afford to make your bed. You can afford to make sure that you start a new way of living where you're clean and you're fresh and you do things to time. You turn up on time. You can make sure, you can say to yourself, you know what? I work 9 to 5. As God is my witness going forward, I'm only going to give 15 minutes in the morning to myself. So when you get into the office, maybe, or school, whatever, you'll have 15 minutes where you do your little admin, but the rest of the time, I'm just going to give it to my employer. Your life will change. Your life will change. If you decide to actually do what you're told to do, you will see the results. Most people don't. Most people don't. They do that thing called eye service, where they only work where the boss is looking. As soon as the boss is turned, can't get success that way. Can't get excellence that way. Are you guys getting it? Hello?
Go ahead. It's going on well. Fantastic.
Okay. Right, so we're going to the last topic now, which is the sell. And that is all about selling yourself. And I know it's hard. It's really, really hard. Oh my goodness, how many of you have gone to an event, you've taken loads of pictures, you look at the pictures and you don't want to post them? Tell me, how many, if that's happened to you, say yes. Kemi? Okay. One thing I've realized is that, and I've learned this from, okay, Olivia, yeah. I wonder if any men don't care. Peace is saying, yeah, but no, we do that because we're so self-conscious. Oh my God, oh no, it's terrible. No, my hair should have been perfect that side, and no, that's the bad angle, and oh my goodness, I need to. It doesn't mean anything. You are the only person that can sell yourself. Johnson, please put your phone on mute.
Oh, sorry.
I learned this from a book called Your Next 5 Steps. Your Next 5 Steps, which is written by a gentleman called Patrick Bet-David. Fantastic book. Fantastic. That book helped me with my social media so much, because I used to be one of those people. I've got 3 kids. Yeah. Like my belly not giving. I haven't done all that BBL stuff, which is trending. So sometimes I'll be standing in pictures and I'll be, oh God, it's not good. But then if you don't post it, how is anyone going to know about it? You've got to sell yourself. You've got to be part of your own brand. You can't care. You can't say, oh no, I don't look good in pictures. Oh no, I'm shy. You are your own brand. And with the way things are now, with AI, with newsrooms changing, with even comms changing, a lot of your future prospects are going to start with just you and your audience. It's going to be just you and your audience. In fact, many of you are going to be bigger than the institutions. You can't be bigger than an institution if you're like, I can't post it because the picture wasn't good. Or no, you've got to get over that shyness. You've got to get over it. And, you know, I'm very much into neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a profound area of science looking at the brain and how our brain functions. And it is very, very normal for your brain to tell you, no, don't post. Why? Because our brain and our body's most comfortable state is the state of being comfortable. And of course, if you do something that's out of your comfort zone, because your brain is there to protect you, it'll say, no, don't do it, don't do it. You have to say, shut up, I'm posting. And when you do post, you start seeing that actually it's not as bad as I thought. And you start getting into a rhythm and you start shaping your own narrative. If you don't test the water, you won't even know whether or not you have a narrative or whether you have an audience. But you've got to have your own audience. You've got to cultivate your own brand. It's the only way. It's the only way. A lot of people sometimes say, oh, Juliana, I'm desperate for a job here. I'm desperate for a job there. I'm like, what are you doing for yourself? Do you have a blog? Are you blogging? Are you writing articles? I told you what I did when I found the BNLF. I did it all for free. 12 years later, I'm still talking about them. 13 years later, if I'm with a lawyer, I can say, oh gosh, yes, I used to be the comms strategist for the British Nigeria Law Forum. It's amazing. No good work goes unpunished. There is absolutely no way you are not in any possibility able to say, do you know what, that is my dream role. Even if they don't pay me nothing, I'm going to do something for them once a week. Can't just copy and paste though. And it goes back to what I said about the self-assessment and the stress test. Are you qualified? You can't just walk, you can't have zero experience and walk into, let's say, Vogue Africa or the BBC Africa and say, I'm going to work for you and I'm going to work for you for free. Excuse me, are you a believable person? That's why you've got to do all the other stuff. Invest in continuous learning and self-development. Read. You cannot tell me you cannot afford a book. You can get Audible, which I highly recommend because you can wash plates. I saw, Olivia, I know you've got a baby. So sometimes it's difficult, but you can have Audible. So like whilst you're feeding baby, you can just have the book playing. Just playing, it seeps into your soul. Continuous self-learning and development. So even if you haven't had the experience working in a newsroom, you've had experience listening to certain things. So when you are going, you know, your door stopping, you're saying, look, you don't need to pay me, but please just give me the experience. At least you've got some experience from somewhere. If you have your own brand or you have your own YouTube and you're writing, my darling, it's not wasted, I promise you. I've done so many things on YouTube that I thought was a waste until people quote. Do you know how many proposals I've sent? Oh my God, I think I've sent about 40. No, 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 no. Leave you unread. Double blue tick. Promise you heaven and earth. Nothing, nothing. You'll say, why? But until it leads to something. And it eventually will. I guarantee you. But you've got to do all the other stuff. You've got to, there is no one road. All roads lead. You've got to do as many bits and pieces as possible. Look at the time. I want to recap now. The stress test. Are you qualified? Make sure you become qualified, guys. Don't let your enemies pull you down. Be somebody that does the work. It's the only way. It's too competitive now. It's too competitive. You've seen what's happened past pandemic. You're seeing what's happening with artificial intelligence. There's no more charity. There's no more charity. It doesn't matter how many pastors your mum and dad see. You can't pray your way into it. You've got to do the hard work. You can. Make sure in the field you're in, you are qualified. Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Beyonce, they don't just go on stage. They don't just win these cups. It's consistent training in headache, and they are on it. If you look at how they've done it, of course they're going to win. Of course they're going to win. Now, the self-assessment. Have an honest discussion about where you are. You can't lie to yourself. You can't just put on makeup and concealer and think that it's going to pretend to the world that you're pretty. What's happening inside your home and inside your mental health? Are you all right? Are you tidy? Are you smart? Don't go somewhere and expect them to be paying you all manners of salary. If you can't even, you yourself, you don't even want to buy a perfume. You as a man, you don't even change your underwear, but you expect to be going into a CEO and telling him to pay you. It's not going to work. Be honest with yourself. And I want everybody here to do that upgrade. Do the upgrade list. Look at what everybody has, something they can do tonight that they can upgrade. And finally, sell. Sell yourself. Sell yourself. Don't use fear to hold you back. Don't say you've been to an amazing event. You've got lots to say, but you don't want to post it because that pic is not really. Stop it. Stop it, because you waste a lot of good content. And also as well, know that if you become a salary earner, you're just earning salary. Start building your own thing. Start testing the water. Start creating things on your own. Because you will come back to those things. That's where your experience is really learned. My darlings, it's 5:01. It's been amazing. Sorry, I know I was getting a bit lectury, and I don't know what the leadership were thinking when I said about matching knickers and bra, but you know what I mean, ladies. I know you know what I mean. When we keep skimping, no need to skimp anymore. There are times, the other day, I went into a bra shop, and I said, I've been doing this. Why? I felt good. It was a very good bra. In fact, when I wore the clothes, I felt amazing. But we don't do it because we keep, we just like, whatever. But it's these things. Anyway, I know I've overstepped the mark now. Of course, I had to be cheeky because I'm a communicator. Thank you so much, guys. I've been reminded that there is time for Q&A. So please do ask away.
Oh, fantastic moment with Nigeria's finest, So it's been, like we promised, it was really worth it. And I'm sure you are happy joining this session today. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please indicate by raising your hands so that she can take your question. Are those hands up? Whose hands is up? Let me see. Okay. I think Omo Obilo, do you want to say something before I allow others to speak?
I just want to, It's not a question, it's actually just to thank her, and I'm happy she highlighted the points that she did, and it's very essential, especially with the youth of today and the pressure that social media has put on them. And it's important to note that yes, social media is important, is essential for what you do, but you have to walk it to suit yourself and not just follow the bandwagon. And I'm happy that she highlighted that. And then also, of course, on personal hygiene, she's probably come across a lot of people like that. But you know, you want to dress how you want to be addressed. And I usually say to people, why should I give you ₦1,000,000 if you don't look like if you don't look like you know what to do with it? So if you don't, I mean, it's okay to have a 2-1 and to know everything in the books, but there's a place for look, there's a place for confidence, and the world is fast evolving. Nobody's looking at your 2-1s and first class as much as they're looking at the skills you bring to the table and your personal branding. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That was okay. Who wants to speak?
Sorry, Remy, that was just me thanking my dear sister for that.
Okay. Thank you so much. By the way, Omo Obilo was the last. She spoke last 2 weeks on the show on the academy, and she spoke on personal development. She's an expert in that field, and I'm sure what you said resonated with her. That's why she's here with us this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us, Madam Omo Obilo. Okay. Let me just a few things. A few takeaways for me. You know, Madam Juliana said, if you don't invest in yourself, no one will invest in you. That's serious. So, you know, you better begin to invest in yourselves. Okay, another one is how you care about yourself is how people will care about you. I'm sure you had that. And the next one is the best investment you can make is in yourself. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And if you are consistent with what you are doing, definitely you will get to the top. Consistency is a secret of success. And I'm sure you have had this right now. Okay, let me read from Fadeyi Mary. You are saying you were real, man. Thank you so much. Okay, that's good. Peace Gold is saying, thank you so much, madam, for this wonderful inspiration and the encouragement. Then Juliet, it's my first time here. Please, what are we talking about? Oh, Juliet, so sorry about that. We're going to share the link on YouTube so that you go and replay. Okay, Esther Ella is saying, glad to have been part of this session. Learned a lot. Okay, who wants to talk? Who wants to ask it? This is the opportunity to engage with this beautiful woman from Nigeria but living in the UK. So this is your time. Ask your questions. You know, make your comments. You don't get this kind of opportunity all the time. So do that right away. I'm waiting for you. Audrey, are you there? Our student from Tanzania, are you there? Hello, who is there to say something? Okay, if you are not ready, maybe you have had a lot, so much that you cannot, you don't have any questions. Maybe I will call our boss, His Excellency, to thank our guests so that we can call it a day. Okay, Sylvester, I want to say something. Go ahead, Sylvester. Unmute yourself and go ahead. Sylvester, go ahead. Okay, Idris Kamara said, everything that the spider needs to spin its web is inside the spider. You are well groomed inside, ma. Idris is from, is it Liberia again? I can't remember. Idris, where are you from again? Liberia or Rwanda, I can't remember, one of those places. Okay, so Sylvester, go ahead if you have a question.
All right, good evening, everyone. I actually joined late, so but with the little I got, I am so much fascinated by this evening session. I learned a lot. In fact, I've gotten a lot of motivations from my job, from getting to investing in yourself, being the best investment so far, and a lot more of the motivation. So personally, I don't have much questions to ask. I just want to thank the organizers of this very program, in the person of His Excellency, Mr. Wonsu Gumba, for this wonderful section. It's not easy. It's not easy to network with a lot of persons and to get to connect with them. So I just want to say thank you. And also, to you, Sir Remy, for always making sure that this wonderful program holds as speculated. So I want to say thank you to this wonderful program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for always being part of this academy. Thank you so much. Okay, Favor, go ahead. Favor, speak. Go ahead and speak. Favor, Remy, go ahead.
Is this working? Okay, yes. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mrs. Juliana. I so much appreciate this session, and it's actually been of help from knowing your role models and in your field and self-assessment, being a believable person, working on yourself and everything. It just encourages me and makes me to understand that no matter what you do, no matter what happens, no matter the setbacks or anything negative that happens, just keep going and you would get there eventually.
Remy Favor. That's my son, Remy Favor. He joined us from home. So, Favor, thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Okay, good. Let me read from Ibrahim. Ibrahim Mohammed joined from Kano. He's saying, I'd like to thank our special guest today. A warm regards to His Excellency Dr. Uche Mosu and our daddy, Mr. Remy. I'm always happy with how you are building us as upcoming leaders. Thank you, Ibrahim Mohammed, for always being part of the academy. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Who else wants to speak? Please, our guest is so tight with our schedule. So if you're not speaking now because of the much you have gotten, maybe we can call it today. Okay, Audrey has a question. Audrey is Tanzanian in Ghana. So go ahead, please. Audrey, go ahead. Hope I got it correctly.
Mr. Remy.
Unmute yourself. Audrey, unmute yourself. Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to thank Juliana for this wonderful session. She spoke about investing in yourself. There's a quote I read somewhere which says that investments place the best interest. So besides social media and reading books, what else can one use to invest in themselves so that they become a profiliated product?
Okay.
Was that Audrey?
Yes.
Good question. What else can you do besides investing in besides kind of creating your own brand on social media and reading books? I think for me, it's really good to cultivate a good network. Now, in Michelle Obama, the former First Lady's second book, which was In the Light We Carry, there was a really interesting chapter where she spoke about just how difficult the 8 years were in the White House, as you can imagine. And she said what really pulled her through was having a strong network of female friends. And when I read that, I was like, shit. Oh, sorry. I read that and I was like, damn, how am I going to do it? I'm such a, believe it or not, introvert. I know it doesn't seem like that, but I am. I run away when I'm at events and I have one or two friends, but I was never one of those people that had many, many friends. So I was worried, but I was intentional with when I was meeting, when people sent me messages on WhatsApp, responding to them, sometimes reaching out to people who didn't reach out to me, inviting people to places. And then I created a network, which is called When Women Win. And we have, over 100 people in the network now of really strong women. So I definitely think you really need to invest in your network. And again, I'm not saying this as somebody that was born with a silver spoon and is the prettiest, most social person, so it's easy for me to carry friends. No, I had to work hard at it. And I think that's what you need to do too, because your network is your net worth, you know. I know His Excellency from his beautiful wife and the Okorocha family. That is part of my network. I know Director Remy from LinkedIn. That is also a network. These opportunities wouldn't have happened without that. And that's what you need to do. You need to cultivate your network. Also, mindfulness is really big for me. Mindfulness. Take time out on your own. Take time on your own. You know, it's okay to be bored, you know. It's okay to be bored. It's actually okay to get in the shower and sit on your bed for 10 minutes, doing nothing but breathing. Not too much thinking. And because obviously when you overthink, you get anxiety and you worry. When you want to stop overthinking, what you do is you focus on your breath. I'm not going to get into all that yoga stuff. Just simple. If you focus on your breathing, like now, just pause. You need to pause more often. Pause. But not pause to be like, hey, he doesn't like me. Is he cheating? The mom is this. Hey, I don't have money. No, not that kind of pause. The pause where you're just like there. Spending a lot of time in nature is also good. Not constantly consuming, constantly having to be busy, constantly having to read, constantly being on social media, constantly on the move. Sometimes you can just be. You're able to reset. Things start dropping. Ideas start dropping. You can just be sitting on the bed at the end, you know, at the end of your bed after a show. The next minute, because of that mindfulness and the time you've taken out, a nugget that you've been looking for several weeks just drops in your head. When you're constantly distracted, too much noise, when the kettle's on, you've got to put something, you know, like you'll have the kettle on and you're right, the kettle is boiling. In that 1 minute that is going to take the kettle to boil, let me go. No, just be. Network and self-reflection.
Okay. Okay, good. I think Mary, it's your turn to speak. Are you ready for that? Hello, Mary. Hello, Mary. Father. Mary, can you speak now? Hello, Mary, can you speak now? Hello, Mary, can you speak now?
Let's go ahead. If she can speak, let's go ahead.
Go ahead and speak. Mary, go ahead and speak. Ask your question.
DG, if Mary cannot speak, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead because Juliana has a lot of things she's doing.
Okay. Sorry about that. From Comrade Mary Jane, I would like to say a big thank you to Miss Juliana for the wonderful and inspiring lecture. I learned a lot, and I deeply appreciate. Okay, then Audrey has just responded. Thank you so much. You have answered my question. Okay, good. Okay, from Udemadu Chidima, I would like to say thank you for the words of inspiration, even though I was having some network issues, but with the little I had, I was really inspired. Thank you, Chidima, for being part of this session today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite His Excellency to appreciate our guest today before we call it a day. Your Excellency, please, over to you.
Thank you very, 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 very much. First, let me thank my dear sister, a family member. Let me say she's a family member because she's very close to my wife, she's very close to the Okorocha family, and also close to our center. So, my dear sister, let me thank you very, very well. You have inspired a lot of young Africans here today. But four takeaway home that I've learned from Juliana today is one, which I know that some of you that are part of this lecture should be able to take this home. One, she did not come in here to say, I am rich. She started with, I was poor. I was not all that rich before I started what I'm doing. Even though most of us wants to have a role model that is rich, but she did not look at those rich people, but she started working on herself, and it brought her to where she is today. Thank you for letting us know this, because most of the time, the young people want to associate themselves with those rich people, not knowing how they made their money. When you tell them how you made your money, they run away, but they want to do with those Yahoo boys, those of them that they see drive good car, wear the best shoe, Gucci, Versace. Those are the people that they look up at the role model. The lady you see here today, she has told you people what she has gone through. I was like her. I hopped in the street of Aba. I hopped in the street of Medugri. I sold orange. I sold ice water. I sold everything that is sellable in order to make it in life. So I would want every man, every woman who has made it in life to go back to your roots and tell the young ones how you made it in life. Thank you, Juliana, for telling us this. Again, she talked about role model. Who is a role model? I prefer the mechanic that is working on the roadside, that whenever I go there and then I give my car to repair, and then probably I forgot my money, he will call me and say, okay, you have forgotten your money, come and take back your money or your wallet. I prefer that person as my role model than a Yahoo boy who will lead me to my death, to my failure. Who is your role model in life? Who is your mentor? Most of us prefer those people that have made it in life to be their mentor. But I prefer that teacher in a classroom who will teach me the ethics and the morals to live life and to make it in life, than to have that person that is rich that will lead me to where I will not come out from. Who is your mentor? Who is your role model? These are the things we need to know. And thank you, my dear sister, for telling us this. Thank you very much for giving us this. And you want to make it in life. You want to make it in life. Know that you are yourself. You are not anybody. Don't look at anybody. Don't look at Mr. A is driving car. Mr. B is driving car. But who are you? By the time you realize who you are, then you'll be able to know where you are going.
That's right.
And be the driver of your destiny. Don't allow anybody to drive your destiny for you. Let me say this before I close. You pick a car and you're driving from mainland in Lagos to going to VI. And by getting towards the third mainland bridge, the car developed fault. And the driver will say, everybody, please, the car is not going to go there again. Can we just wait? Who is driving that car? It's not you. So when somebody drives your destiny, he will stop you along the bridge and leave you there, and you get stranded. So when you drive yourself, you are not only going to drive yourself to your success, you are drive yourself to your destiny. Because why? Because you are going to check your car, if you are the driver, whether the tires are good, whether the wipers are good, whether the engine is okay, whether there is oil in the engine, before you move from your house to where you are going. But when somebody drives you, the person might not check all these things in the car, and the person will stop you by the road. So, my dear brothers, my dear sisters, young Africans. What am I saying? Be the driver of your destiny and drive yourself to your destination. Juliana, thank you very, very much. Remain blessed. We expect more from you. Today is just the beginning. Be rest assured that by the next time, I am going to mobilize a lot of young Africans.
We're doing it in person.
I'll be there in person. And thank you all that have attended this. This is fantastic. God bless you.
It's nice.
We didn't know certificate. The certificate is already inside us. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
With love from London. Don't forget your diaspora. Don't forget us.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you and God bless you. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
Bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. That's much we can take for today. So far, you can share, you can ask your question in the group, and then I will bring Juliana to answer you. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this academy today. God bless you all. Bye-bye. Casey, thank you. Kelechi, thank you. Thank you, boss. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. All right, thank you so much. You're doing well. God bless you a million times. All the support. I appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you, brother. All right, bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah, bye.